back to Afternoon Express, and yes, we are having a good time, not because it's Friday tomorrow, but because we're keeping to the low-carb theme. Now, guys, we're about to go into a recipe that I'm specifically looking forward to, and you're about to give us a little bit of a tip and a trick, huh?
Yeah, the expert in spices, should we say so? We're going to learn how to make a taco spice, basically, because it's very difficult to find in your local stores, unless you really hunt it down, but we're going to give you some tips on how to make it.
Now, before we get into all of that goodness, if you're looking for a low-carb snack that doesn't compromise on flavor, then look no further. Our jalapeno taco bites are delicious, simple, and the perfect snack for entertaining. Now, Dumi, a lot of people, you know, the country's opening up kancane, and we definitely are having friends and family over. So is this something that's just so simple that everyone can whip up at home?
It's so simple, it's so easy, and a lot of people, because we're going into that time of the year, summer body challenges fail. So this is something that you can say, at least for those people that are still trying to watch their weight and keep to the low carbs, this is definitely a snack that they'll definitely enjoy.
Looking forward to it. Now, Chef, you promised us your own personal take on a taco spice. Now, I've looked, so I know this as a fact. You can't buy and find taco spice on its own in the shops.
It's so difficult to find. So it's a basic sort of recipe. You can obviously play around with it once you find different types of chilies as well, which is very important. I mean, the Mexicans have so many varieties of chilies, and most of them are smoked as well, which gives it that sort of authentic Mexican spice flavor when it's cooked as well. Yeah. So we've got a bit of smoked paprika here. There's some fine chili powder, but you can use ancho chilies, you could use chipotle chilies. So whatever you can find in a ground form that's a Mexican chili, you could use that. Some chili flakes. I've got some oregano, very important ingredient in Mexican cooking. Some onion powder.
Nice.
We've got a little bit of cumin here. And then lastly, your salt and your pepper.
Oh, and you're going to put all of that in there, just like that,
All of that in there.
Okay.
All of it. It's a spice. And you can use this for a lot of braai applications as well. I mean, smoked brisket. You could smother this on your brisket after it's brined, and it's going to go on for 16 hours smoke, or really nice, like sticky chicken wings, and you can just toss it on once it comes off the grill. Vegetables prepared as well. It's so easy to use for various applications.
Yeah, it's quite a versatile spice, and that's what I love about it. Now, Dumi, on the jalapeno station, why is jalapenos the best for this recipe?
One, because they're low in carbs. Two, because apparently they are good for pain relief. So if you are suffering from a broken heart, if you are suffering from anything that needs some pain relief, you can definitely enjoy this. And most people say that they're good for pain relief. I think it's because the heat from them make you forget.
I'm telling you,
and I'd like to
take the information somewhere else in your brain, honey. But I do love this recipe. Funny enough, I first got into this recipe online. I saw it on Instagram as a trend, similarly with what we prepared in our first segment as well. And what I love about it is that it just gives us so many more options when it comes to enjoying. We're changing it up when it comes to the flavors. We're playing in the kitchen, but we're able to, I suppose, substitute, give and take as we prefer. Today we're using chicken as the protein.
Correct.
Are we able maybe to try another kind of protein?
You definitely can, but I also know one thing that you could try is that if you want to use this very same taco spice that Chef was talking about, you can even still keep it low carb, perhaps for a cauliflower steak. Brush it there with a bit of oil that gives you all those perfect flavors. And you might be wondering, how are we saying these are taco bites? One, because of the spice. And instead of using the high carb tortillas and stuff like that, we'll be using the actual jalapeno itself as the carrier, meaning that it's low carb, not only in the filling, but in the carrier itself.
Because that's what it's all about. I mean, that's how I know and understand a taco. When you do assemble your taco, that shell is normally a corn type shell, or some kind of like a batter. But this is, we're able to play here.
Correct.
This would be good for snacking, entertaining, maybe as a starter.
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, personally, my favorite sort of like carb substitute is lettuce cups. So I get a lot of like baby gem lettuce or iceberg, and you just pick the sort of cups out and shock it in ice water. And then you could use like Mexican flavored mince or the chicken filling you have at the moment, and you just crunch it up and use it as a shell. It's phenomenal.
Very.
Yeah, so that spice that chef just made now, what I did is that we just tossed it in the chicken, we cooked our chicken down, and then we just break it apart. So like you're saying, chef, it could be used in many different applications. So all we did was we made our chicken, cooked it in those spices, and then I just tossed it now with some sour cream, and then we're going to drizzle or sprinkle a bit of cheese on top of this. Bali, if you taste that, what you'll find there is you'll get the pungent flavors of the jalapeno itself, but also those spices that chef just broke down for you, that paprika that you've got in there, that oregano that you've got in there. It should scream Mexico.
It does. Listen, I scream, you scream, not because it's hot. The flavor is exactly, I feel like I can just do a little bit of a Mexican dance, a little bit of a salsa, because this is amazing. And also, because Dumi used in the filling is that cream cheese I'm tasting, sour cream. It truly balances those flavors so that the heat from the jalapeno and from the spices isn't that hectic. It kind of gives us a nice little, you know, a little bit of a balance there. I can also imagine taking lime. Oh, in fact, you've got one right here, Dumi. And putting a little bit of lime on top of that.
You're eating that.
Honey, I'm happily crazy in love when it comes to this, so I'm loving that. Okay, one other thing. Chef, you spoke about a braai. Would we be able then to also smoke our jalapenos over a fire?
Oh, absolutely. You could smoke your over the residual heat of your fire. So once your fire is all cooked out and the flames go down, you throw your chilies onto the grid and close it down and leave it to smoke until they turn this really black, nice color, and they're perfect.
Yeah. And then, Dumi, if we are opting not to put it on the fire and we are putting it in the oven, how long?
In essence, all you want is for the cheese to melt down, so we're giving it about 5 to 10 minutes. Let the cheese melt down. If you want that crust, that golden brown, then make it go for a bit longer, for about 3 to 4 minutes.
Here for it, and pay attention, Mzansi, because you definitely want in on this low-carb magic. Now, low-carb never looked so good. Head over to www.afternoonexpress.co.za for the full recipe and ingredients list to make this tasty dish. Now, from the hot flavors of Mexico, we're heading over to Thailand when we come back as we whip up a scrumptious Thai green chicken curry.